Hello everyone, a very good morning, guys. I hope you're doing well. A very good morning. Now, let me see if I'm live. I'll just check once, I'll check the audio and everything. I don't want to have the same issues as we had yesterday. Very good morning. Now, let me see if I'm live. I'll just check once, I'll check the audio and everything. Yes. I am absolutely fine. My audio is absolutely fine. My video, I think, is absolutely fine. There is no issue at all. So, very good morning to everyone. A very warm welcome to the class. So, let's begin, guys. Without wasting any time, we will begin with our session today. So before we begin, I would request everyone to join the Telegram group. The link has been given here. And also what you can do is, just a second, yes. Now, the link has been given here. We also have the scan code, so you can join whichever way you are comfortable. जिस भी तरीके से आप comfortable हैं उस तरीके से आप join कर सकते हैं. Why is it important to join the Telegram group? Because this is where you will get updates regarding the classes. This is where you will get updates regarding the classes. This is where you will get your notes. This is where you can talk to the teachers. You can clear your doubts. You can do a lot of things here. Okay. So do join the Telegram group, guys, and also please do like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and also press the bell icon so that you get notified every time we post a new video and you are never lagging behind in your preparations. That would really mean a lot to me. Okay. चलिए so and let me talk to you guys about my schedule. So tomorrow I am planning on conducting a session on the Gupta Empire. Okay, so tomorrow I'm planning to conduct a session on the Gupta Empire. The date will be October 7th 2022 and the time is going to be 10 a.m. Okay, so what will be the time? 10 a.m. as जैसे हमारी रोज की classes होती हैं, that's where the classes would be. And I'm so sorry, guys. The date is going to be October 8th. I'm sorry for if I made this mistake here. The date is going to be October 8th and the time is going to be 10 a.m. and we will be focusing on what? We will be focusing on the Gupta Empire. So in yesterday's lecture, I had spoken to you about the Shungas and the Kanvas. Then I spoke to you about the rise of the Satvana dynasty. We had done the various rulers of the Satvana dynasty. We have finished with Gautami Putrashi Satakani, who was considered is the greatest ruler of the Satvana dynasty. He is also known as the Eka Brahman, destroyer of the pride of the Kshatriyas, and Eka Brahman. So all of this we have done. Now we are going to move towards the other successors. We'll just have a quick revision of the other successors and then we'll move on to other parts of the lecture. Chaliye. So after we spoke, so last we spoke about Gautami Putrashi Satakani, who is known as the greatest ruler of the Satvana dynasty. Fine. But apart from him also we have different rulers. So we have Vashishti Putra Pulmai. Now, he was the immediate successor of Gautami Putra. So right after Gautami Putra you have Vashishti Putra. The coins and inscriptions of Vashishti Putra Pulmai are found in Andhra Pradesh. So obviously this is an indicator that now they have started ruling over Andhra Pradesh, Andhra as well. Okay. And according to the Junagadh inscription, he was married to the daughter of Rudradaman. Okay, what he was married to the daughter of Rudradaman. And the Shak Kshatrapas or the Shaks of Western India recovered some of their territories due to his engagements in the east. So maybe Vashishti Putra was engaged somewhere else. He was engaged in some other locations. Okay, he was basically engaged in his some annexations and some conquest towards the eastern part of the empire, and hence the Shak Kshatrapas were able to recover some of the empires, some of the parts of the empires which have been annexed by Gautamiputra in the west. Okay, then we have Yajna Shri Satakani, one of the later kings of the Satvana dynasty. He recovered what? He recovered North Konkan and Malwa from the Shak rulers. So he has captured North Konkan and Malwa from the Shak rulers. He was a lover of trade and navigation, as is evident from the motive of ship on his coins. So definitely he was a promoter of trade and navigation. So along with navigation, obviously trade would go hand in hand. So definitely he was a huge promoter of trade because he wanted his empire to prosper, right? Because we have found evidence we found motives of ship on his coins. His coins have been found in Andhra, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and Gujarat, indicating that these were the areas he was ruling, and maybe some other areas also that he might have ruled. Okay, so we'll finish a few more slides, guys, and then clear doubts together. Let's talk about the Satvana dynasty administration. Now, the administration of the Satvana dynasty is actually based on the Shastras. Shastras in the sense, so we are talking about Dharma Shastras and the Sutras. And this is the structure which it followed. So, Rajan, or we have the king who was the ruler. Then we have the princes or the Rajas whose names are inscribed on the kings. We have the Maharathis who had the power of granting villages and also had the privilege of maintaining marital relations within the ruling family, with the ruling family. So maybe the Satvana kings got married in this particular family only. Then we have the Mahasenapati. Obviously, he is going to be the head of the entire administration. Sorry, he is going to be the head of the entire armed forces. Okay. We have Maha Talwara. Now, he is obviously again very much involved with the armed forces itself. The inscription of the rule of Gautamiputra throws some light on the bureaucratic structure and administration. And how do we get information about the bureaucratic structure? We get information about the bureaucratic structure from Gautamiputra Satakani's inscription. Okay, so he has given us an inscription that tells us about the administration of the place. Okay, so that is about the administration. Let me know if you have any doubts here. Till here, if you have any doubts in these two slides. Otherwise, we'll continue. You can tell me in the live chat, guys, if there's anything you don't understand. All right. I think there is no doubts. So let's move ahead. Now, let's talk about the features of the Satvahana administration. The king was represented as the upholder of dharma, and he strove for the royal ideal set forth in the Dharma Shastras. The Satvana king is represented as possessing the divine qualities of ancient god such as Ram, Bhim, Arjun, etc. So the Satvana king is the upholder of dharma, or basically duties. Alright. And these duties are actually inspired by what, guys? These duties are actually inspired by the ideals which have been given in our Grantha or in our Shastras, which is Dharma Shastras and the Sutras. Now, the Satvana king is believed to have possessed divine qualities, which our ancient gods and rulers like Ram, Bhim, and Arjun had possessed at one point of time. Now, the Satvana retained some of the administrative units of Ashokan times. So, apart from the Shastras, they were also inspired very much by the Ashokan administration. So, they had retained some of the administrative units of Ashoka as well. Sorry about it. Okay. The kingdom was divided into districts called Ahara. Their officials were known as Amatyas and Mahamantras. But unlike Mauryan times, certain military and feudal elements are found in the administration of the Satavahanas. Okay, so how have they divided it? So first of all, you have basically, you have the center. The center is divided into Ahara. The Ahara is further divided into what? The Ahara is further divided into, okay, so the center is divided into Ahara, districts called Ahara, and Ahara and centers are being governed by officials who were known as Amatyas, or we have the Mahamantras, fine. But unlike Mauryan times, so in Mauryan times, they had a very centralized form of administration. But here, certain military and feudal elements have also been found. Okay, now what do you mean by a feudal element? Let's try to understand that. For instance, the Senapati was appointed provincial governor. It was probably done to keep the tribal people in the Deccan who were not completely Brahminized under strong military control. So, for example, the Senapati, he was also responsible for the entire military administration, but at the same time, he was also appointed as the provincial governor. So, you can see that the military is also being responsible for governance, which is a very big indicator of feudalism. I'm sure you're aware about the concept of feudalism. Okay. So why was it done? It was probably done because the tribal people of the Deccan area, they've not been completely Brahminized, so they've not really completely accepted the Brahminical traditions, and that is why they needed to be under strong military control. Okay, but here you can see that the armed forces are not just participating in warfare, but they're also participating in administration. Okay, the administration of the rural areas was put in the hands of the Gaul Mika, or the village headman, who was the head of the military regiment consisting of 9 chariots, 9 elephants, 25 horses and 45 foot soldiers. Again, you can see here that the Gaulika, he was also the village headman, but he was also the head of the military regiment. Okay, so the armed forces are also in charge of governance here. Okay, so it consisted of what? It consisted of 9 chariots, and so Gaulika would be a head of a regiment, and under this regiment you will have 9 chariots, 9 elephants, 25 horses and 45 foot soldiers. It's actually, dekha jaye to it's quite a huge army for a village to be governed, isn't it? So the military character of the Satvana rule is also evident from the common use of terms Katak, Skandharva in their inscription. These were military camps and settlement which served as administrative center when the king was there. Thus, coercion played an important part in the Satvana administration. So the military character is also evident from the use of the words like Katak and Skandharva, because these are terms basically which means military settlements or military campaigns. So whenever the king was on move, or whenever he shifted from his capital, or whenever he shifted from his center to other parts of the empire, these small military towns would be set up, alright. These small military towns would be set up. They served as administrative centers for the king. So the king was actually governing. Dekha jaye, the king was actually governing through what? He was actually governing through the armed forces, right? So coercion, or basically I would not call it oppression, but forcing people to believe or forcing people to be loyal was basically a huge part of the Satvana administration, because armed forces are playing a very important role here. Fine. The Satvana also started the practice of granting tax-free lands to Brahmins and Buddhist monks. I've already explained what this is. This is known as Agrahar or Bhumidan. The Satvana kingdom had three grades of feudatories: Raja, Mahabhoj, and Senapati. So three grades of feudatory. So just like we have the feudal lords, the clergy, and the peasants, similarly they also have three grades of feudal lords. So Raja, he has the right to strike his own coins. We have the Mahabhoj, and then we have the Senapati. And you can see how Senapati is responsible for the administration of the provincial areas, and he is literally keeping people under his control. Okay, so now let me know if you have any doubts here, otherwise we'll continue. You can let me know in the live chats, guys. Let me know if there's anything you don't understand. Okay, चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. Alright, let's talk about the economy of the Satvahana Empire. Now, agriculture was the backbone of the economy, obviously. Agriculture has always been our mainstay, guys. I mean, I think you can blindly write this down, that agriculture has always been the mainstay of almost all the empires. They also relied on trade and production of various commodities within and outside India. So we've always had trade relations with outside of India, definitely. हमारे relations हमेशा से रहे हैं. So trade was an important aspect, but yes, agriculture was the backbone of the rule. Okay, let's talk about the Satvana coins. These are some important points related to the coinage. Now these are very important, guys. You must remember them. The coins have been excavated from Deccan, Western India, Vidarbha, Western and Eastern Ghats. Very important, you have to remember the locations from where the coins have been discovered. Most of the coins in the Satvana dynasty were die struck. Okay, die struck matlab it was always in the shape of that. All right. Cast coins too existed in the Satvana Empire, and there were multiple combinations and techniques that were used in cast coins. So basically you have two types of coins here. You have the die coins, die struck, and then you have the cast coins as well. Okay? And multiple combinations existed between cast coins and die struck. Okay? So just remember that there were two types of coins which existed here. Now they were made of either silver, copper, lead or protein coins in the Satvana Empire. These were the materials used. Okay. Types kitne hain? Die struck, alright, and cast coins. And then you have different materials which is being used. So materials mein kya kya aa jayega? We have silver, copper, lead and protein coins in the Satvana Empire. Now, the portrait coins were mostly silver. What is portrait coins? Portrait coins are those coins which have the portrait of the king on them. So, if you remember, Satvanas actually were the first kings to have their portraits on the coins. उनके अपने portraits बने होते थे coins पे. So, जो portrait coins थे, they were in silver and some of them were in lead also. Dravidian language and Brahmi script were used on the portraits. Okay, क्या इस्तेमाल होता था? Dravidian language use होता था. Fine. Language was Dravidian and the script which was being used was Brahmi. So you can see here that they're using the language of the common people. ये आम भाषा यानी लोगों की भाषा का इस्तेमाल कर रहे थे because they wanted to connect with them. Now, there were punch mark coins too that were circulated alongside the Sultana dynasty. Punch mark coins is basically you take a stamp, you take the metal in the melted form and you just stamp it, and that is known as your punched mark coins. So that along with the die stuck in the cast coins, you have the punch mark coins and the portrait coins as well. The importance of maritime trade is derived from the images of ship. We already know from this particular slide that Yajna Sri Satakani was really responsible, was really fond of trading, because in his coins only you will find the mention of, or you will see the motives of ships. Okay. Many Satvana coins bore the names of Satakani and Puluvami. So this is an indicator that maybe most of the coins have been struck during their reign itself. Alright. So let me know if there's anything you don't understand here, guys. अगर कुछ भी नहीं समझ में आया तो आप मुझे ज़रूर बताइए, because this might be a little confusing. And also, if there's any doubts that you have while watching the recording of this chapter, of this video, later on, you can always drop in your message in the comment section, or you can drop in your message in the Telegram group itself. I will be sharing, I'll be clearing your doubts in the next class then. Just let me know if there's anything that you don't understand. I will help you with it. Okay, चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. Satvana coins were different shape. There was round, there was square, rectangular, etc. Now many symbols have been used. Now what are the major symbols? We have the Chaitya symbol. So we're done with Buddhism. I'm sure you're aware of what Chaitya means. We have the Chakra symbol, the Ashok Chakra symbol. We have the conch shell symbol. I really don't know how to draw it, but this is this shape kind of जो shell होता है, that is known as your conch shell symbol, lotus, kamal. Then we have the Nandi Pad symbol. So you have Nandi, which is basically जो सवारी है शिव जी की, who is the vehicle of Shivji. So Nandi Pad symbol. We have the ship symbol. We also have the swastik symbol. And also animal motifs have been found in the Satvana coins. So these are the various symbols which have been found. Now these symbols, guys, are very important. You must remember them. Okay, ये बहुत important है, because you can get MCQs from this. You can get to choose the odd one out. And what are the symbols which have not been represented? What are the symbols which have been represented? You can also get to choose the incorrect one. So remember these symbols. These symbols are immensely important. Okay. So that's about the coinage of the Satvana kings. Now we will be talking about the religion of the Satvana kingdom. Okay. So guys, see, I think this is already quite easy to make out that the Satvanas were definitely followers of Hindu religion and they were Brahminical in caste. Fine. But an interesting fact is that they were equally generous and equally tolerant actually towards other caste and religion, which is very much evident from the fact that they made donations to Buddhist monasteries also. Many Buddhist monasteries were constructed during the rule of the Satvana dynasty. Fine. The official language was what? The official language was Prakrit, and the script which they were using was Brahmi because they wanted to connect with the local people. Political inscriptions also throw some light on the use of Sanskrit literature. So, apart from the Brahmi script, apart from Prakrit, they were also using some Sanskrit literature. We already know that they were very much inspired by Dharma Shastras and the Sutras in their administration, right? So, this is about the language and the religion. Now, let's talk about the material culture, or basically the artifacts that have been associated with the Satvana dynasty. The material culture of the Deccan under the Satvana was a fusion of local elements and northern ingredients. Okay, it was a fusion of what? Local elements. So basically, it was a fusion of Satvahana and whatever the local elements, whatever local place they were going in. So suppose they're in Andhra Pradesh or Maharashtra or Gujarat or Deccan. So they will have the features of that particular place. Fine. And the ingredients that they were using was basically coming from northern India. Now, the people of the Deccan were fairly acquainted with the use of iron, absolutely, and agriculture. The Satvanas probably exploited the rich mineral resources of the Deccan, such as the iron ores from Karimnagar and Warangal, and gold from the Kolar fields. I don't think I need to tell you about it. KGF, I'm pretty sure you will be able to remember this. They mostly issues coins of lead, which is found on the Deccan, and also coins of copper and bronze. So where are they getting iron from? They're getting iron from Deccan, which is coming from Karimnagar and Warangal, and gold is coming from the Kolar gold fields, which is KGF. All right. The paddy transplantation was an art well known to the Satvanas, and the area between the Krishna and the Godavari, especially the mouth of the two rivers, formed the Great Rice Bowl. The people of Deccan also produced cotton, thus, a good portion of Deccan developed a very advanced rural setup. So, what kind of production are they involved in? They're very much known, they're very much aware about the paddy transplantation. What is transplantation? Let me explain that. So I'm sure you have seen how rice is grown, right? Rice is first planted in standing water. There's a lot of water and then rice is planted there. And after some time, when the rice grows to a certain extent, it is then taken out from there and then planted in a field which does not have water, or it is planted in a dry field. Now this is known as your transplantation process. Okay. The rice bowl formed the Great Rice Bowl. So remember this point, guys. This is very important. Where is the Great Rice Bowl? It is between the area of Krishna and Godavari. Okay, between what? Between the area of Krishna and Godavari. This area was the Great Rice Bowl. Also because, Deccan receives a lot of rainfall, guys. It receives rainfall from the onset of monsoon, and it also receives rainfall from the retrieving monsoon as well. So, rice productivity could be very strong there. And also they produced cotton. Deccan cotton was one of the reasons of 1857 revolt. If you will be studying that in modern India when I teach you that there was a cotton boom in the Deccan when the American cotton had dried up, and this was during the British period that we will talk about much later. Okay, let me know if there's anything you've not understood here, because if it can be a little tricky, so just let me know if there's any doubts. Just let me know in the live chats, guys, if there's anything that you've not understood. Cherry. All right, let's move ahead. Now, the people of Deccan learnt the use of coins. They learnt the use of burnt bricks, ring wells, etc. through their contacts with the northern part. All right. So how did the Deccan people learn how to use coins, burnt bricks, Indus Valley civilization, ring wells, etc.? Now, it was through their contacts that they had with the northern part of India. There was a regular use of fire-baked bricks and use of flat perforated roof tiles that must have added to the structures, life of the structures. The drains were covered and underground to lead wastewater into soakage pits. The Andhra in the East Deccan included 30 walls towns besides numerous villages. So I'm sure you can get a lot of Indus Valley vibes from here. So what are they using? They're using fire baked brick. Fine. They also used flat perforated. Perforated is basically when you have some hole in the tiles, okay, which actually helps it to hold together. Roof tiles have been used, which have added to the life of the structures. Also, the drains were covered. The drains were covered just like the Indus Valley civilization. They were underground, okay? They were underground, and it led the wastewater into soakage pits, okay? What were they? They were underground, and it was leading the wastewater into soakage pits. So basically whatever wastewater was there, that would actually go into the soakage pits where it would be soaked, all right, or it would simply enter into the rivers. Fine. So in the Andhra and East Deccan, a lot of walled towns, around 30 walled towns, just like we have the walled citadel and we have the walled lower town, have been found apart from numerous villages. So I'm sure you can get a lot of Indus Valley civilization vibe from here, guys. Alright, let's talk about the social organization. The Satavahanas originally seem to have been a tribe of the Deccan. Fine. But then they got Brahminized and they claimed to be Brahmins. The most famous Satvana king, Gautamiputra, claimed to be a Brahmin and thought it was his duty to uphold the fourfold Varna system. Fine. He is also claiming himself to be the Eka Brahman who is the destroyer of the pride of the Kshatriyas. But also remember, guys, this is according to the Shastras only that the kings were supposed to be Kshatriyas. Okay. So when Gautamiputra becomes the king, and he is a Brahmin, he's actually going against the Shastras and he's actually going against the fourfold Varna system, right? Because the Brahmins were not given the duty of being kings. Now, the Satvana were the first rulers to make land grants to Brahmins, and they also made land grants to Buddhist monks, especially Mahayana Buddhist. Mahayana Buddhist, I've already taught you all of this, so I hope you remember this. Nagarjuna Konda and Amravati in Andhra Pradesh, Nasik and Junnar in Maharashtra became important sites under the Satavahanas and their successors, the Ishvakus. So Nagarjuna Konda, Amravati, Nasik, Amravati you're already aware with, the Supa there, and the Junnar and Nasik areas. These are some very important Buddhist sites, particularly during the Satavahanas and their successors, the Ishvakus. We'll be talking about them also, guys, don't worry. The artisans and the merchants formed an important class of the society. So as we know that the Satvana kings were really keen on expanding trade and commerce. So definitely the artisans and the merchants who were contributing to this trade and commerce, they formed a very important class of the society, and they must have formed a very, they had a hold over the society. Okay? Merchants took pride in naming themselves after the towns to which they belonged. For example, we have the Gandhikas, who are the perfumers, are mentioned as donors, and later the term came to be used for all kinds of shopkeepers. The title Gandhi is derived from the ancient term Gandhika. Alright, so again, this is a very important point here. The term Gandhi has been derived from the ancient term Gandhika. Gandhika are basically people who were into perfume production, okay. So they are mentioned as what? They are mentioned as donors, and later donors of what? Donors of land, donors of a lot of various things. They also made donations, religious institution, monetary donation, physical donation. Fine. And later the term is used for all kinds of shopkeepers. It was customary for the king to be named after their mother. Now, this was something which was a part of their custom. We have Gautami Putra, we have Vashishti Putra, which indicates that women might have occupied an important position in the society. Though it did not mean that the society at that point of time was matrilineal or matrilocal. No, nothing like that. But yes, women were given their due importance in the society. Okay, let me know if you have any doubts here, otherwise, we'll continue. Any other doubts, guys? You can just let me know in the live chats if there's anything you don't understand. All right, let's talk about the Satvahana architecture. In the Satvahana phrase, many temples called chaityas and monasteries called viharas were cut out of solid rock in the northwestern Deccan or Maharashtra with great precision and patience. Okay, so during the Satvana dynasties, temples which were known as chaityas and monasteries where basically the Buddhist monks were living, which were known as viharas, were cut out of solid rock. So basically, there would be huge rock boulders, and from those huge rock boulders, they would be cutting out these temples and chaityas. So these temples and chaityas would actually be made out of one rock only. So we have found such in northwestern Deccan in Maharashtra. Obviously, it was done with great precision and patience, because you need to have a lot of patience to give that boulder the shape of a vihara, isn't it? So we have certain examples here. So please remember these. The Karle Chaitya is the most famous in Western Deccan. The three viharas of Nasik carry inscriptions of Nahapana and Gautami Putra. Okay, so we have three viharas at Nasik which were constructed by Nahapana and Gautami Putra. The most important stupa was that of Amravati and Nagarjuna Konda. You've already know about the Amravati stupa. We've already spoken about this in our discussions when we were doing the Buddhism and Jainism. The Amravati stupa is full of sculptures that depict various scenes from the life of Buddha. The Nagarjuna Konda stupa contains Buddhist monuments and also the earliest Brahminical brick temples. So this again is a very important point. What does Nagarjuna Konda consist? It consists of stupas, fine, which consists some Buddhist monuments, and also it consists of temples which were made of bricks. So first Brahminical temples, or you can say the earliest Brahminical temples, which were actually made of bricks. Okay. So this is all about the Satvanas, guys, and let's talk about a little bit about the decline of the Satvanas. Pulwami Fort is considered to be the last king of the main Satvana line. Alright. Main Satvana line means what? See, just like we have the Mughal Empire. See, Mughal Empire started declining after Aurangzeb. Fine, but that was in 1700s. But they were still able to be rulers till 1866 with Bahadur Shah Zafar. But what really happened? Were the Mughals as important as they were before? No. We have the Mughals, actually the importance reduced only to Delhi and certain parts of northern India, and rest of the places you have new dynasties or new independent kingdoms like the Qutub Shahis, the Adab Shahis, like that. Similarly, Pulwami IV is considered to be the last king of the main Satvahana line. So, main Satvahana line, he was the last king. After this also, the Satvahana rule did continue, fine, but they must have been limited to certain parts of their empire. Maybe they were limited only to the Deccan part of the empire, or they were only limited to the Andhra part or the Gujarat or the Malwa part of the empire, alright. And then apart from the Satvahanas, and particularly in the areas that they were ruling before, you will see a lot of smaller kingdoms. Okay? So Pulwami IV, he ruled till 225 AD, and after his death, the empire basically fragmented into 5 smaller kingdoms. Okay? So with this, guys, we have ended our discussion on the Satvahana dynasty. Okay, we've ended our discussion on the Satvahana dynasty, and in the next lecture we will be beginning with other important rulers or other important dynasties of the postmodern period. So first of all, I will be talking to you about the Gupta Empire. Okay, and then I will also be talking to you about the Kushan Empire. Fine. And later on, we'll be also talking about the Vardhan Empire and all of that. So this is how we will go ahead. Fine. So in tomorrow's lecture, we will most probably, in tomorrow's lecture, not most probably, we will be talking about the Kushanas first, and then we'll talk about the Gupta Empire in much details, as we have done with the Satvahānas. So with this, we finished our discussion on Satvahāna. So you will let me know if you're facing any doubts, if there's any difficulty that you face in the chapter or in the lecture. So what you can do, if you're not watching the lecture right now, you can always watch it later, and you can let me know if there's anything you've not understood, particularly in the comments, so that I can take it up in the next session, ताकि मैं इसको next session में ले सकूं, ताकि मैं आपको इसको अच्छे से explain कर सकूं. Okay? So before I leave, I would again request all of you to do join the Telegram channel. Okay, the link has been given. We have also given you the scan code. All right, why should you join the Telegram channel? Because this is where you will get updates regarding the classes. Okay, यहाँ से आपको classes के regarding updates मिलेंगी. You will also get your notes here. Also guys, you can download the app of Result Guru from Play Store, from Google Play. Now this app will have some exclusive content only for you. So do join the Telegram group, do subscribe to the channel, and also download the app for some exclusive content. Also, before you all leave, please do like the video, share it with your friends, comment and let us know if there's anything you don't like, and also if there's something you appreciate about us. It would really make us really happy to know that there is someone out there who is watching our videos, who is appreciating our efforts. So you can tell us both ways. We'll be more than happy to hear what you like, and we'll be more than happy to hear what you don't like, so that we can work on it. And also guys, subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends to subscribe to the channel, because we are providing you with good quality education at free cost. You are aware how much state PSCs take to prepare, isn't it? But we are providing that to you free of cost. So do subscribe to the channel, and also press the bell notification so that you get notified whenever we post a new video. So that's about it for today, and thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you so much for being a part of today's session. It really means a lot to me that you guys were here. So thank you so much, and I will see you all in the next class, which is tomorrow at 10 a.m. We will be continuing with what? We will be continuing with Kushanas and the Guptas. All right. Thank you guys. See you. Bye bye. Take care. Good night. Not good night, but bye bye. You used to was saying that.